Welcome back to Perks Recap Podcast. Once again, I apologize for the abrupt ending to part one. This is part two of our NFL predictions. That was an unavoidable situation that you really couldn't do anything about. But we're back for part two. You'll have all the content. Will all be released at the same time for this entire prediction show. And we were left off on the NFC West. Al, you had your order was San Francisco at 10-7, the Rams 8-9, Arizona 7-10, Seattle 5-12. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Our buddy Ty had the Rams at 12-5, San Francisco also 10-7, Arizona 9-8, Seattle 6-11. We were all down on Seattle. Me not as much as you guys, but I had the Rams at 11-5, San Francisco 10-7, Arizona. I'm sorry, Seattle 8-9, Arizona 7-10. Um, as I look at this, I'm thinking I might be a little bit too high on Seattle, but that's okay. I'll leave it where it is. Anyway, we touched on the Rams, we touched on the Niners in Seattle. We really didn't touch on Arizona. So, what did you want to mention with the Cardinals?
All right. Well, they're an interesting team. They're so hard to figure out, starting with their quarterback, Kyler Murray, who played well last year. But he's up and down. He's not one of the best quarterbacks in football, but he's in that upper third, I would say, towards the bottom of the upper third, somewhere in there. And Jonathan Gannon has proved to be a question mark as a coach. He hasn't done anything terrible or great. So there's just a lot of question marks in Arizona, and I don't know how to answer them. They had a nice ad. They stole Josh Sweat from my Eagles, who's a nice edge rusher. They added a nice defensive tackle, Dalvin Tomlinson from Cleveland, who's a very solid guy. And they lost almost nothing significant. Plus, they drafted a really highly thought of defensive tackle, Walter Nolan, out of Ole Miss. They remember we both had Will Johnson, the Michigan cornerback, going in the first round last year, and because of injuries, he didn't. Well, they're the ones that got him in the second round.
Yep.
So they had a nice little offseason. So it's possible I'm underrating them, but I just have so many questions about them between the coach and the quarterback, and I don't trust them a ton, so I'm not going to put them any higher than that.
I am right there with you. I'm even lower on them than you are. Again, I might be underselling them as well. But yeah, I don't fully trust the quarterback. I really don't. I don't think he's the long term answer anymore. He's been in the league long enough now where we kind of know what he is, and what he is a good, not great quarterback who's simply not good enough to carry a team, and this team is not good enough elsewhere for them to carry him.
Yeah, yeah, and I think a lot of we're going to find out a lot too with the whether Marvin Harrison Jr. can progress significantly in his sophomore season, because Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. came into the league and took the league by storm. Marvin Harrison did not. He had what would have been considered a pretty darn good rookie season 10 years ago when rookie progression took a lot longer. Rookie receiver progression took a lot longer.
Oh yeah,
But it was considered a pretty solid disappointment given how things have gone the last 5 years or so with that. So you know, I don't know, man. I'm right there with you. It's just a big fat question mark to me, and I don't trust him Murray enough either to feel good about
yeah. Okay,
it. Where does that lead us now?
that leads us to the NFC South.
Now can I ask you before you give your? I think you're first this time, right?
Yeah.
Before you give your picks, is this the division you were talking about as the other contender for the worst division?
Yes.
Me too. Okay, I wanted to make sure we were on the same page here. Nice.
All right. Well, here's my first real, I think, a shocker, but I also think this team is on the rise. I have the Carolina Panthers winning this division.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I have them going 10-7. I have the Bucks also going 10-7, and I have Carolina winning the tiebreaker. I have Atlanta. I know some people are higher on Atlanta. I even saw some predictions with Atlanta winning the division. I have them at 7-10. I got to see
Right,
Michael Penix for the whole season before I can buy in.
right on, right on.
And the worst team in the league might not win a game, but I gave them one win, and that's the New Orleans Saints at 1-16.
Oh, I love it, man. That is priceless. I I will not dispute that at all. Yeah, cool. Well, let me give you my picks and then we'll dive in, man. I love it. So, all right. I am going Bucks to win the division, 11-6. Then I am going Panthers, 8-9. I do like their growth, but not quite as much as you. Um, I have the Falcons 7-10. And I like Penix, I do, but I haven't seen enough to feel confident, super confident about it. But it's not even a Penix issue as much as it is their horrific defense. Um, they
Yep.
have they have the worst pass rush. They've had the one of the worst pass rushes in football for what feels like a decade. And they did address it. I will say. I mean, they got Jalen Walker fell to them in the draft. I mean, he was the biggest fall on draft day, and the Falcons were the beneficiary of it. And then they traded back up into the first round to get James Pierce, another edge rusher from Tennessee. So if those guys are for real and Penix can play, we're both way off, but
Right.
I'm not gonna bank on it. Oh, they also signed Leonard Floyd, who is still good for 8 sacks a year. You know what I mean? So we'll see, but I'm gonna have to see a lot before I really buy into them. So yeah, they make me nervous, that team. And I'm not as high on the massive growth of the Panthers as you went, but I wouldn't be stunned. I would not be stunned.
I just like how they looked last year. Bryce Young looked a lot better to me. Um,
Oh, he was massive improvement.
yeah, and I love the running back situation because they got a couple good ones.
They absolutely do.
Um, yeah, they got Travis Etienne's brother, Trevor Etienne. I didn't even realize that.
They drafted him in like the fourth round. They also have Chuba Hubbard, who went from like a mediocre semi bust to a Pro Bowler last year,
Yep.
and they signed Rico Dowdle, who was
Yeah, who's solid.
you know very solid. So that's three, two provenly solid running backs and a very interesting and possibly exciting rookie.
Yep, they got Thielen, but I love McMillan, the rookie. I think he's going to have a really good year.
Yeah, Ted McMillan is an exciting player, man. He's a very exciting player. Um, the it still comes down to the growth of Bryce Young because while he looked way better than his rookie season, he still wasn't great. He went from a see this thing uses QBR. I'm not a fan of QBR, but I'll use it. They have he went his rookie season was a 33.4 QBR, which is epically bad. And
Yep.
he went up 21 points in his second season to a 54.1, which still isn't great, but it's a lot better. So, the quarterback rating, which I'm more familiar with, went from 73.7 to 82.2, which is 82.2 is solidly mediocre, but a lot better than it was. And he didn't have a guy like Tech McMillan on his team last year. So I expect him to keep improving, and that team to keep improving too. So, man, you might be right because the Bucks can. This is a division that feels like wide open every year.
Yep.
Um,
This
I
is a
can't.
hard division to predict.
It is, and I have underrated the Bucks for 2 seasons in a row, and I decided not to do it this year. But maybe this is the year I should have. We'll see.
We'll see. Did you give me a Saints prediction?
Oh,
I didn't.
I didn't even give you the. Oh, I did not. So yeah. So my goodness. So you had them 1-16. I feel so much better than them that I gave them 2-15.
Well, Ty gave them 3-14.
Oh, that's hilarious. One after the other. That's great.
His South predictions: Tampa at 11-6, just like you.
Hmm.
Atlanta in second at 10-7.
Wow. Okay.
Carolina at 7-10, and then New Orleans, like I said, 3-14. Atlanta, he must have screwed up in his when he sent me the picks because he had them at 7-10, but he has them making the playoffs, and he had them in his playoff thing he sent me as well. So I'm assuming he meant 10-7 for Atlanta. So that's what we're going with.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that seems like what he was intending. Yeah.
that's that's pretty high. You have them 7-10. We both have them. Oh wait, let me see. Yeah, we both have Atlanta 7-10. So he's much higher on Atlanta than we are. I mean, I love Bijan, and maybe Penix will be good.
And listen, I like what I saw from Penix, but and I didn't say this earlier. I'll throw it in now. The other big factor in me not loving the Falcons is their head coach, Raheem Morris. I am not a fan. That guy has been a head coach now for 5 seasons in the NFL and has one winning season, and all the rest are pretty darn bad. So I don't see him carrying them to more wins himself. So it all comes down to Penix has to be a pretty darn good player, and that pass rush has to improve from dreadful to at least upper middle of the pack if they're gonna improve that much.
Yep. And Tampa, over in Tampa, those as long as those receivers stay healthy, they'll be all right.
Yeah, man. And listen, Baker Mayfield is now a proven commodity. He's been good for 2 years, like really good, not just good. He's been very, very good for 2 years in a row now. He went from bust land to perennial Pro Bowler. And it's you gotta believe now. If you don't, I don't know what you're looking at. So, and I'm curious to see if Sam Darnold's going to go that route or if he's going to go right back because I feel like he's going to go back, but maybe he becomes another Baker Mayfield and becomes a top-notch quarterback. It blows my mind that I'm saying that about Baker. I'm not saying he's in the top 5, but he's in the top 10, which I never thought I'd say 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Yeah, New Orleans is just an absolute disaster.
Yes.
There's nothing they do well really. They have Alvin Kamara, who's 1,000 years old, and that's about it.
Yeah, Kamara proved last year he can still play, but man, you can't carry a whole team to a ton of wins.
Oh, they have that receiver, Olave.
Who is coming off his season-ending concussion last year that he missed most of the season because of. He is one more concussion away from retiring, and I hope it doesn't happen. I wish the best for him, but he is in a scary spot right now. He has not been able to stay on the field for very long for the last couple seasons, and it's possible he goes from a once really promising, great player to having to retire. Remember Al Toon?
Yeah, I remember Altoon.
He's in Altoon land, man, and I hate saying it because I just hate guys that have to deal with this kind of stuff. But it's getting scary. He's in that same spot as what's his face for who's the quarterback with all the concussion issues for Miami, Tua.
Yeah, yep.
I mean, it is scary. So I hope he's okay. I hope he stays healthy. If he is, they have a very good player on their hands. But yeah, not enough to think much of it. And by the way, they have arguably with Cleveland. It's between them and Cleveland for, by the way, worst record in the NFL this year in my mind. I gave it to New Orleans, but it's splitting hairs in my mind. And also worst quarterback situation in the league. And New Orleans is worse than Cleveland because at least they have a couple guys who have proven they can start in this league with Flacco and Pickett. Not that either of them are anything special at this point in their careers, but Pickett never was, and Flacco, he had that magical run 2 years ago, and he's now 170 years old. But their quarterback battle is between Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck, who was a
I
second
mean,
round draft pick.
my God.
Yeah, it's crazy. And Spencer Rattler, by the way, started 6 games last year, had a completion percentage of 57%, 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and he's the leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah, it is. It is bad in New Orleans. It
It
is
is.
so
It's
bad.
ugly. Kellen Moore should have stayed in Philly for one more year and waited for a better team.
Yeah, because it's not going to go well at all. Um, it would be symmetrical and ironic if Manning ends up there, Arch.
Oh, it would. It would.
But the thing is, Archie, his grandfather, says he's not coming out.
He is vehement about that. He has not wavered. He has not ever
Right. So it
said
might not
anything
work
but
out.
that,
It might not work out like that unless New Orleans is this bad next year as well.
which is possible the way they're going down there.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I like Carolina. I wanted to make one pick that was probably a little bit against the grain, and that was the one I wanted. That was the one I made, and I feel pretty good about it actually.
I love it, man. It's all going to come down to the continuing development of Bryce Young in my mind, and I think there's a chance that it works out in your way.
All right. Um, I'm good with that division. If you're ready to move on,
Yeah, man, absolutely.
okay. Well, we say the best for last. NFC East. Go for it.
All right, man. Well, here we go. So I have Eagles winning the division at 12-5. I have Commanders second at 11-6, Cowboys third at 9-8, and Giants in last at 5-12.
All right. Oh, by the way, yeah, we went over Ty's picks for the South. Okay.
Yes,
Um, all right, I'll give his picks real quick for the East. He has Philadelphia 13-4.
love it. I'll take his over mine.
He has Washington 11-6. He has Dallas 10-7. And he has the Giants 8-9 because he's a delusional Giants fan.
That is highly optimistic, and I would take that bet all day long. The
Me
under.
too. Me too.
Although I appreciate the home team optimism.
Yeah, yeah. It's fine. Um,
Total.
so I have the same record as you have for the Eagles at 12-5.
Okay.
I have the Cowboys in second, not Washington. I have them at 10-7. I have Washington at 8-9.
Oh, I love it.
Screw them. I don't think they're going to have a good year. Jaden Daniels, I think, will be the one that gets hit the hardest on the second year regression.
I love it.
And
I
the
hope you're right.
Giants, I
I would
also
love
have at
that.
5-12. I think the Commanders are vastly overrated. They might be worse than 8-9. They might win like 6 games. I'm
Oh,
that down on them
I love it. I love it.
because Debo is not in shape, and I saw something where he literally gets the least amount of separation out in the field as a receiver running routes in the entire league. He was like literally either dead last or like right near there. So he can't separate anymore. He's getting older. He gets hurt a lot, and he's out of shape. And if Jaden Daniels regresses and Terry McLaurin is not there, I don't know what's going to happen with that. But right now, there's a problem. Um, I think they're in trouble. I think they're in big trouble.
It's possible, man. Like, listen, I'll say this: if they don't get McLaurin, if they end up trading McLaurin, then I would knock them down significantly. But um, I would say that Debo, despite everything you just said, and I agree, you're right; those stats are indisputable. However, would you still say that Debo Samuel is better than either Curtis Samuel or Diami Brown? Because I would,
I would. I would.
and
Yes.
that was their number 2 and 3 receiver last year. So it's not like they downgraded to go to Debo at the number 2 spot in my mind. Um, Also, not only did they not downgrade, they massively upgraded their offensive tackle position. They traded for Laramie Tunsil, which I still don't understand what the freaking Texans were doing there, and they drafted Josh Connerly in the first round. So, um, I don't. They didn't do a lot in free agency. They didn't do much at all. They lost Jonathan Allen and replaced him with Javon Kinlaw. That's a wash. They're both solid defensive tackles and just a wash. But I do like what they did with the trade for the tackle and the drafting of a tackle. So I listen, I hope you're right. I would love it, and I think there will be some regression there, but I don't know. I still think they're a dangerous team. I hope you're right, because if there's one less team to think about in this division that hard, I would freaking love it for the Eagles. And if you're right about them, I would give the Eagles a win or two more. But yeah, I love your take on it, and boy, I'm rooting for you to be right.
um, I don't know. I just think that's just my gut feeling on Daniels is he's going to regress
Yeah, no, it's listen. He was
significantly.
so good last year; it's almost impossible for him not to.
Yeah, but significantly.
See, I don't see that because of the tackle upgrades and just, I mean, I loved what I saw in the guy. I thought he just looked absolutely special.
I'm probably, I can definitely be wrong. I probably am wrong, but that's just my gut. I'm going with what my gut says, and that's what my gut is saying. 8 and 9, not making the playoffs.
I freaking love it. I absolutely love it. And listen, there's a case. I understand your case. I do because their receiving core is not awesome. McLaurin is great, but we don't even know if he's going to play for them this year. I mean, these things tend to get worked out, but you never know. And if he doesn't, man, and Debo Samuel is your number one receiver, bad news, bro. Bad. If McLaurin doesn't play for them, you're looking at a receiving core of Debo Samuel, Noah Brown, and then trying to figure out between Luke McCaffrey and KJ Osborne. The out of retirement after 4 years, Michael Gallup is on their freaking depth chart right now. Like, I mean, it's a mess. They need McLaurin. They have to have McLaurin. So if he's out, forget it. So yeah, they don't. It's not like they have a freaking dynamic receiving core. And
Their
their
de-
tight
and their
end, who I
defense is good, but not great.
yeah, it's a perfect assessment. It's middle of the pack, which isn't good enough to carry you. Um, and their tight end situation is Zach Ertz, who I love, had a great year last year, but is 150 years old. So at some point he's going to fall off a cliff, and it might be this year. I think he's actually 37 years old going into this season. They're 36 or 37. I got to find it real quick. Um,
Yep.
Oh my God, I way overrated it, but he's still old. 34. He'll turn 35 during the season, but that's still ancient for a tight end. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I could see your case. I really can. I don't think it's crazy at all. I don't think it's that off in any way.
Yeah. Plus, I had Dan Quinn as my defensive coordinator for a long time, and he tends to come on, first year come on like a lion and kind of go out as a lamb the next year. And he makes some weird decisions in big spots sometimes.
You know,
Like I remember that Cowboys game where he was the defensive coordinator, and they played a 4-3 defense all year, and he changed the defense for the playoff game to a completely different defense. They played a lot of 3-4 in Tampa 2, and just for the playoff game. Why would you do that?
that's insane. That's absolutely garbage coaching. And listen, I'm with you. I had to eat crow last year because I was not big on that Dan. I was excited as an Eagle fan when they hired Dan Quinn because exactly what you said is what happened when he was in the Atlanta coach back in 2015 through 2020. He came in 8-8, then went 11-5, 10-6, and then 7-9, 7-9, got fired after going 0-5. So in like a lion, out like a lamb. So listen, to me that's an even better case than Jaden Daniels having massive regression in my mind. But although I do understand your case there, and I'm not going to argue too hard against it because we've seen it happen before, so I'm not going to argue too much. I just thought he looked really special to me, so I don't see it. But I'm not going to argue it too much, like I said. But the Dan Quinn thing, I'm 100% on board with, and that could cost him 2 wins right there.
Ty swears the Giants are going to beat them week 1.
Oh, let's go! I would love it. I would absolutely love it.
Yeah, I would
I
love
would
it
love it.
too.
So well, let's dive into some of these teams a little bit, other than Washington, because we went pretty hard on them. So let's start with the Giants, man, because they are fascinating. It's possible they got the best player in the draft with Abdul Carter.
It's definitely possible.
I mean, this guy looks like he could be absolutely special. They already had a damn good pass rush, and now it has a chance to be one of the best in the league if he's for real, which I have no reason to doubt.
Well, if you
Jackson,
want to, if real quick, if you want to
no,
buy
please, I'm sorry.
they're selling it as not could be as the definitive best defense in the league up front, the best front seven in the NFL. I don't know if I would say definitive as much as they are, but it could be, and it's very scary.
Yeah, it is possible. It is possible. Um, there's a couple factors there that they have great they have one of the best maybe the best defensive tackle in football. They have they have one really good pass rusher and one pretty good pass rusher in Brian Burns and who's the other guy? Help me if what is
Dexter
his name?
Lawrence.
No, Dexter Lawrence is the best defensive tackle in football. I was
Oh,
referring to
Thibodeau.
Thibodeau. Thank you. Thibodeau has not proven that much so far in this league. He's been a big potential, hasn't done a whole lot. Let me find his stats real quick to make sure I'm not talking out my butt. Um, Dang it, I just hit the wrong.
So,
I believe
well, while you're
there's
doing that, I'll give my take on if you want to bet. I'm not a big better, but if you want to bet on the Giants, the most logical thing is if you can bet first half over unders,
yeah.
take the Giants and under, or just not even the Giants, just take the under in any Giants game in the first half, because
Okay.
I think they're going to lose a lot of games in the second half when the defense keeps having to go out there after the offense keeps going three and out, three and out, three and out, and the defense is going to get tired in the second half. But in the first half, they're going to be all jazzed up, and they do have talent, and they do have a ridiculous pass rush. So I think it's going to be a lot of low scoring games at halftime, and then lose in the second half.
That's a great point. Great point. Yeah. And I will say this too, and I found my Thibodeau stats. He had one excellent season his second year where he played all 17 games and had 11 and a half sacks. The other 2 years, 4 sacks, 5.5 sacks. So he's a bit of a wild card. Brian Burns is very good. He's kind of a 8 to 10 sack guy. And if you add in a what Abdul Carter looks like he's going to be, it is very scary to them and him and Dexter Lawrence. Um, I'll say this though. I heard the exact same thing about this defensive front seven coming into last year.
Right? Yeah, I did too. I did too.
And where did that land? I mean they I can find it while we're talking, but I don't think they were top 5 in the league in sacks. I'm
I don't know
pretty
if they
confident
were.
I'm right about that.
Yeah,
I'll
their
find it.
defense
But
wasn't terrible last year, but it wasn't what they
no.
thought it was going to be.
Yeah, well their secondary stinks. And they
Right.
didn't do a whole lot to improve it yet again. So
Well, they brought in. Hang on, I got to get his
Javon
name.
Holland.
Yeah, I kind of like him, but their corners are young. Like that kid Banks is a problem. He is not good.
Yeah, they're scary in their secondary. I mean, and they basically traded Jason Pinnock for Javon Holland, which is a wash in my mind. They lost to Dory Jackson. Who cares?
Yeah,
But he's on the Eagles now and trying to just stay on their roster. They signed Paulson Adabo from New Orleans, who had one really good season and then played in 7 games last year. So welcome to the Giants where no one can stay healthy ever. Um, so I don't know, man. The one thing I will say too in their favor is for the future anyway, is Jackson Dart was the best looking rookie quarterback in week 1 of the preseason by him and Shador Sanders, and he looked even significantly better than Shador Sanders.
yeah, he looked great. I got to give them that. Really did look great, and I am so done with Russell Wilson
Yeah.
that I can't give them much more than the 5 wins because I can't see them, uh, dumping him until it's already well over, and by then they could be like 1-8 or something.
And I believe I heard they have their buy in December,
Yeah,
which
they're buying
means
late.
that's Jackson Dart target time is after that buy, unless it just goes to absolute crap.
And
And I
the
don't
thing
see
is that their schedule, when it lightens up a little bit later on, they have apparently the worst schedule in the league. They are number one.
which is
Um,
why I think I probably should have given them less than 5 wins. I mean that I just don't see there's any way they sniff 500 with this roster and that schedule.
and I tell you too, their first 8 games. Tell me where there's a win. I got to get their schedule up. So, if you want to keep going, I'll get it up here in a second.
Yeah, man. So yeah, their receiver situation outside of Malik Neighbors is. Oh, I will give them credit, although it's not something to write home about. But they did finally sign a receiver over 6 feet tall, and the irony is his name is Little Jordan Humphrey. But Little Jordan is 6'4", And as we all know, they've fallen in love with 5'8" receivers over the last 5 years. So now they have two guys over 6 feet tall, at least, or maybe even three now. So they're coming out of their Smurf phase finally. But yeah, nothing special about their receivers outside of Malik Neighbors, who is very special. Just a very mediocre roster, man,
Well,
outside of their defensive front.
Darius Slayton is not a good number two.
Oh no, he's an absolute waste. Um, yeah, no, they're and who's the little guy from Kentucky? Oh man, who is their little guy? I'll find it in a second.
So their schedule, their first four games, I can't see them winning any of them. They are at the Commanders, at the Cowboys, home to the Chiefs, home to the Chargers.
No way.
Then they have the Saints, so that's a win. But then they have Eagle home to the Eagles, on the road to Denver, and then on the road to the Eagles.
Good luck.
That's 1-7.
Yeah, man. And where's the New Orleans game?
Hang on. In New Orleans.
That could be a loss too.
Yeah. If they are 1-7, they might go to Jackson Dart right then and there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. And the tiny receiver I was trying to think of was Wandale Robinson, who had one of the least efficient receiving seasons of any receiver in the history of football last year. He had a late surge to get his yards per reception up to 7.5, which is unbelievably bad. He had, check this out, 93 receptions, which sounds great, right? For 699 yards. That's unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. Real quick, just to run through it because I think it's funny. Um, then after that second Eagles game, they
Hmm.
get they get the Niners at
Oh
home.
boy.
At home.
Okay.
Uh, then they're at the Bears, who everybody thinks is going to be very improved.
Yep.
Home for the Packers,
Oh boy.
and then on the road to Detroit.
Oh boy. Is that when the bye finally comes in or what?
No, it doesn't have the bye; it just has the games listed one after another.
Okay.
Looks like the bye's after the Patriots game, which is the next game after that, and that's in New England. You think that might be a winnable game, but that's in New England too.
Wow, man. This is brutal.
Yeah, and then they're home for the Commanders. They're home for the Vikings. They might be able to sneak one in there,
Yeah, that's possible if they're as bad as we were kind of thinking. But man, that's keep going.
and then on the road to the Raiders, they might be able to get that one as well.
That's a possibility.
And then last game is against Cowboys in New York, home.
I kind of want to change my thing to 3 wins. I'm not going to, but after hearing that schedule, I'm seeing 3-14.
I mean, I can't fault you there at all. That is rough.
That's brutal, dude. That is brutal. I mean, for the reason the Giants landed with the toughest schedule is not just because of their out of division schedule, which everybody in the East has a tough one this year, but it's because everybody else in the division is way better than them.
Yeah, so their strength of schedule gets impacted because Washington is everybody thinks they're going to be good. Of course, Philadelphia. Who knows? Dallas is kind of up and down on predictions, but either way, still better than them.
No
So
doubt.
yeah, playing Philadelphia twice and Washington twice really hurts their strength of schedule.
No doubt, man. Oh, I love it. That's fascinating, man. Well, they're going to be a really interesting watch this year. And it's funny because I was thinking they might be in the Arch Manning hunt, but because I didn't like the Jackson Dart pick much, but he early returns are good, and they wouldn't take him next year anyway, even if he came out. But if he goes back and Jackson Dart fails, they could be right in it two
Yeah.
years from now.
So you have Philadelphia 12-5, Washington at what?
11-6. Cowboys at 9-8, and Giants. I'll stick with 5-12, but I'm thinking I overestimated it after hearing that schedule.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I have them at yeah, I have them at 5-12 as well.
Right on, right on. Well, let's
So
let's dive in a little more specifically on our teams here, man. If you're up for that,
absolutely. Well, this Micah Parsons thing is pissing me off. If he
Jerry Jones
doesn't,
has become a laughing stock in his negotiation abilities.
he does this with everybody. Everybody he waits to the last minute. Where everybody else is signing everybody early, we wait. Always wait.
He
He did it
pisses
with
off the
Dak. He did
player.
it with CD. Everything.
He pisses off the player, and then he pays more than he out the nose compared to what he would have if he had just done it when everybody knew he should have.
So he's doing it again, and it's kind of like the McLaurin situation. If he was there, I was ready to give Dallas 11 wins, but
Hmm.
I literally took a game off because of the Micah Parsons situation.
Yeah, I would take 3 games off of my prediction if Micah Parsons doesn't play for them this year.
Well, I don't know about that. I wouldn't take three off.
I would.
It's gonna sound weird to say, dumb to say. Parsons sometimes does disappear, and a lot of times during the big games. I remember distinctly the last couple playoff games, last couple years, he did absolutely nothing in either one of them. And if somebody said they'll give like 2 first rounders and a second rounder, I would do it. I would let him go.
Yeah, and Jerry won't do it. He won't do it, which is crazy. He just pisses people off and then pays them $50 million more than he would have if he'd signed them 6 months earlier, which is insane. Um,
So anyway, other than that, the other thing is we're going to have to wait, and I'm changing what I said earlier on that I was going to pick them to beat Philadelphia. They can't do that in week one because I forgot both Diggs and their third cornerback are both going to be out for the first 6 games at least. And once again, that secondary is going to be just completely injury riddled until about halfway through the year almost. And
that's crazy, man.
so we got to wait for Diggs to come back. Once he gets back, and hopefully Bland will be okay, then we'll have a good secondary to go with a pretty decent pass rush, I think. I think the running game will be better. It can't be any worse, really. And, you won 7 games with Cooper Rush. How come you can't win 10 games with a fully healthy Dak Prescott while adding George Pickens?
I like the George Pickens ad. You also added about 10 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties a year and a few tosses out of the games with him. He is one of the most volatile players in the league. I love
Yep,
his talent. I hate his attitude. It's going to be fascinating to see how he fits in there. If he can be his best self, you got a steal. If he's his worst self, he's a problem for your team.
yep.
Um, I will say this about the running situation. I don't think it did get better. Rico was a nice, solid player. Javante
I like
Williams played.
no, I like
Go
Jaden Blue
ahead.
better than I like Jaden Blue better than Rico.
Right on, right on. And I mean, maybe, but he's not an every down back. He's not going to get the ball 200 times this year. There's no chance. And Javante Williams is mediocre at best. He played for arguably the best run scheme in football with Sean Payton, probably behind second behind Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, and stunk. So I don't see it with him. And he's 3 years off his big injury now. So I don't see it with him. You're not going to get much out of Miles Sanders. So it comes down to the rookies for me. And I do like Jaden Blue, but he's more of a change of pace guy and a really possibly a banger of a change of pace guy. But I don't think you have the every down plugger like you did with Rico to go with that. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. And the ad of Tyler Booker compensates for the retirement of the Hall of Famer. You know what I mean?
Zach Martin,
But
yeah.
they did lose a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? So
Oh yeah.
I think one of the biggest draft picks, other outside of Tyler Booker, is the guy from BC, Ezeraku for real,
I love
and
him. Apparently
yeah,
he's having a great camp too.
and we'll see. I mean, he could be huge for them, and he's certainly going to get if Micah Parsons plays, he's certainly going to get a lot of single teaming, which helps anybody. And is Siobhan Ravel real? Their cornerback. Have you heard anything about this guy, the second round pick?
Well, he's
Because
the
if
other guy
he's
that's injured.
oh, he's hurt. He's the guy you were talking about.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's not
Well,
playing the first
that's
6 games.
well, that's terrible then, because that's going to set him back his whole year then. Because rookies that get hurt and don't get to participate in these early practices and preseasons tend to get set back light years. So that's huge. I didn't realize he was hurt. So that's big for them. I don't know, man. I have mixed feelings with the Cowboys. I'm really not sure. They have like a 4 or 5 game variable to me. I mean, they could be. I wouldn't be surprised if they're 7-10, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're 10-7. You know.
Don't forget the Overshone will be back too.
Like in like late November or something,
Yeah,
right?
he well no, he's on the 6 game pup as well.
Though everything I heard though was that he wasn't going to be back until November or December.
I mean, Ravel, I'm just reading up on him. He's saying his goal is to be ready for the start of the season.
Well, that would be huge if it's true.
Um, his surgery was mid-October last year. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see. Either way, they aren't going to be whole for a little while on defense, and the offense is going to have to carry it. I do think every time that Dak gets hurt the following year, he has an absolutely stupid year.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
the last time he got hurt and missed time, and then that following year he threw for he should have been the MVP. He threw for 4,500 yards and 38 touchdowns.
Yeah, yeah, that great season, man, no doubt. No, and he's perennially underrated, and you know, I'm bigger on him than most non-Cowboy fans. He has had 3 monster seasons in his career and
But if
been
you look at
injured.
them, there two of them are right after getting injured.
All three of them are. Or
Oh,
no,
well,
I'm
there you
sorry.
go.
One of them. I'm sorry. One of them was followed by an injury season. You're right. So yeah, it was 2019, great season, injured the next year. 2021, great season, injured the next year. 2023, great season, injured the next year. So if it follows that pattern, great season ahead.
Well, I mean
um,
they've got the weapons, that's for sure.
no doubt, man, no doubt. Now that whole defensive issue you just laid out reads like a very possible Bengal like start here. So they're going to have to win a couple
Yes,
more games. They're going to have to go 500 at least in their first 6 games or so
that's what
to
I'm
get where
thinking.
you
They
want them.
just got to stay afloat until we get whole.
Yeah, if they can do that, I see your pick, and you're not that far off from me anyway. So I mean, I'm picking them 9-8. So yeah, they're a very interesting team with a big variable depending on a lot of things. Yeah, fascinating,
So
absolutely
my concerns
fascinating.
about the coaching staff have been quelled. I really like everything I'm seeing with Brian Schottenheimer. I really am, and Eberflus on the defensive side.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see, man. I mean, that's cool. You feel better about it. I don't know. It's a totally unproven head coach, so we'll see. I know what you've been hearing good stuff, and I respect that. But it doesn't mean a whole lot until we see them on the field. So I'm curious, man. And I do like Eberflus as a DC, as he was horrible. I
As
mean,
a head coach. Yep.
horrible.
Yep.
I mean, one of the worst head coaches I've ever seen, and that's not overstating it. But he has a very good track record as a DC, so I won't dispute that at all. Yeah, there's a lot of variables with this team, so I'm very curious to see where it all lands. Very curious. All right, well, let's talk some birds, huh?
Well, we saved the Super Bowl winner for the last team to go over, so take it away.
Well, here we go, man. I mean, for a team that won the Super Bowl, they didn't get hit as hard as you might think. They lost Milton Williams, their defensive tackle, to New England, who signed a $100 million contract based on a 5 sack year playing next to Jalen Carter. If he ever has 5 sacks again, I'll be surprised. He's a solid player, but he's not a $100 million player. There's no way he gets through the length of that contract. I anticipate him being there for a season or two and getting cut. Um, they lost C.J. Gardner Johnson because they wanted to. I like him a lot as a player, but apparently he must be a freaking handful because the Eagles get rid of him at every opportunity. um, they traded him to the Texans. They lost Mekhi Becton, who was a draft bust, who they turned into a near Pro Bowler because they have the best offensive line in football with Jeff Stoutland, a best offensive line coach in football, I should say, and one of the best offensive lines in football. They'll replace him just fine with another guy you've never heard of this year, and that guy you've never heard of is going to be Tyler Steen, by all accounts, it looks like. The biggest loss to me was Josh Sweat. And Josh Sweat is a very good player, but he's a 6 to 10 sack guy a year, which they've already replaced with Nolan Smith, who they drafted 2 years ago and came on like gangbusters the second half of the season and the playoffs last year.
Oh
Who
yeah, I
looks like a
remember.
future all he looks like an all pro coming. I mean, we'll see, but he looks like a absolute monster. They have Jalix Hunt, who, if you remember him from the Super Bowl, was just chasing everybody all over the field. And by the way, Jahad Campbell fell to them at the end of the first round, who everybody thought was going to be somewhere in the top 20 or 15. Some people even had him in the top 10. He fell because of injury issues. Guess what? He hasn't missed a day of the offseason.
That's great. That's awesome.
He's been healthy the whole damn time. So they had a great team. Obviously, won the Super Bowl, and they didn't lose much. And then some of the rookies and free agent additions look really good and promising. So I only went 12-5, as low as 12-5, because of the strength of schedule, which is fourth toughest. I would have liked to have given them another win or two, but with that schedule, I'll keep it at 12-5. I feel really good about their chances, and my favorite thing about their chances is the attitude of their quarterback, the leader of their team, who, when he was when they won the Super Bowl and he was on the field after the game before the award ceremony, one of the team officials came running over to him and said, man, you won the MVP. And he didn't even crack a smile, kept a poker face, looked right at that guy and said, "No, we won the Super Bowl."
Yep, I like that too.
And when your leader of the team has that kind of attitude, I absolutely love it. So listen, it's hard to predict any team to win in two in a row, but they at least have a chance.
They definitely have a chance. There's no doubt about that. They got the talent. There's also no doubt about that. Any concern about the sophomore slump affecting those young defensive players?
Possible, but that's not as big a factor with those type of positions as it is with quarterbacks. I mean, you saw it with Jalen Carter last year. Where was his sophomore slump? He became one of the best defensive tackles in football.
Right. Yep. Okay. Why I put them at 12-5 and didn't give them more is I know you'll disagree, and probably a lot of people will, but I still have a problem with Jalen Hurts, and Saquon Barkley is going to have a massive regression.
Well, I
Let me
hope you're
read
as
you.
right about Barkley as you were last year.
Let me read you some numbers. After rushing for 2,000 yards the following season, Adrian Peterson rushed for 1,200 yards. Jamal Lewis rushed for 1,000 yards. Chris Johnson rushed for 1,300 yards. O.J. Simpson rushed for 1,100 yards. Derrick Henry rushed for 900 yards. Terrell Davis's career was basically over. He played 4 games, then 5 games, then 6 games. The last 3 years of his career with no more than 67 carries, and then his last year he played 8 games for 167 carries. But that was after the 2,000 yards. Eric Dickerson rushed for 1,200 yards. These are 700 and 800 yard drops by some of the all-time greats. The only one that still had a really good year was Barry Sanders, but even he rushed for almost 1,500. That's still a $500 drop. At minimum, that's what he's losing. At minimum. Plus, he's on the Madden cover. Plus, I'm telling you, he's going to rush for like 1,300 yards. That's my number.
Which Yeah, right on, right on. Listen. The other thing about those running backs you just read off is he averaged more yards per carry than any of them and had less carries than any of them, which is a massive factor in those regressions. He averaged 5.8 yards a carry. Find me a
Yeah, but
bigger
it's not
number on
like
that list.
he had a low no. He had like 360 carries, didn't he?
Yeah, he was over 300, but again, less than any of those guys.
He was well over 300. He was closer to 400 than he was to 300. I
Still
don't
less
know.
than any of those guys, Craig. Still less than any of them.
And I still say he's dropping big time.
That's hey,
I don't want to predict injuries, and I hate that, but chances are he's going to get hurt. Because that's another thing, too, is a lot of these guys got hurt the following year. I'm just saying nobody has done it. Nobody.
yeah, but 1,500 yards is nothing to sneeze at. I'll take it. You know what I mean?
It's still
It's not
500
like that.
yards, 500 yards less, and with my misbelief of Jalen Hurts, not, I still don't believe in him fully. Uh, I don't know where they make that up, and if they have to depend on him to do it, I don't think he can.
Yeah, that's crazy. And by the way, you were epically wrong about Barkley last year.
I was.
Epically.
I thought it was done last year. Yep. I can
Yep.
absolutely be epically wrong again this year, but this year I don't see how there's any scenario where he doesn't rest.
Oh, listen, I'm not predicting 2,000 yards, but I'm also telling you 15. Listen, you don't think Jalen Hurts has more than 3,400 yards in him? The Super Bowl MVP?
Well, I got to see it because he's never even passed for 4,000 yards in his career, has he? Not even
He's
4,000?
well, he's gone for 4,000 total yards if you count his rushing yardage.
No, and through the air. I've always said I don't have a problem with his rushing. I really like his rushing. I've always said I don't think he does enough with his arm. That's my big problem with
He-
him.
right on. Well, you can continue to have a problem with him. I'll keep winning Super Bowls.
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely trade that for that, as well. If I was in your shoes, for no doubt about it. And they probably are the favorite to win the Super Bowl, and I do have them as the number one seed in the East. So it's not like I'm completely shitting on them either.
Right, and
They
he
are
did
my
throw for 37 and 3,800 yards in two of his seasons, by the way, which isn't that far off from 4,000, especially when you're running for 700 yards a year.
right. I'm just saying I think he's going to have to throw for 4,000 yards this year to make up for what Barkley is not going to give them.
It's very possible, and he has it in him. I mean, he was 142 yards from doing that when he was 25 years old.
Right. We'll have to see.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love it,
But
and
but
yeah, no, I do understand where you're coming from, but I strongly disagree about Hurts, and I'm not that worried about the regression with Barkley because I think they can overcome it in other ways.
well, their defense is phenomenal. That's another thing
Yeah, their
too. Their
defense is
defense is so
absolutely
good.
phenomenal.
Yeah, it's top three for sure, and possibly one. But even if they're three, whatever, it's great.
Yeah, man, and I will take their coordinator over any of them.
Yep, agreed there as well.
Yeah, fascinating, man. No, I love that. I love that. I love getting it's like it's going to be fascinating to see because something always happens when you're trying to defend a Super Bowl, and it'll be interesting to see if they can overcome whatever it
Yeah,
is.
that's why it's always difficult. It's very difficult to do.
Yeah, it's hard to predict. It is. It is, and I will not dispute that at all.
Well, how does your how do your playoffs break down in the
Well, do you want to
NFC?
do do we want to do AFC or NFC first?
Well, we just real quick your seeds in the NFC because we did the
Oh,
seeds in
I'm
the
sorry.
AFC.
Gotcha. Okay. So I have both the Eagles and the Lions at 12-5. I gave the tiebreaker to the Eagles, so they're the number one seed.
Me too, exactly the same.
Okay. And then Lions number two. You have the same there, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, 12-5 for both of them, with the Eagles having the tiebreaker.
Okay. Now here's where we're going to get different for sure because you don't even have this team winning the division like I did. Bucks, I have number three.
Okay, I have the Rams number three.
Okay. And then I have the 49ers number four.
I have the Panthers number four.
I have the Commanders number five.
Okay, I have the Bears number five.
And you have the Commanders playing golf, which I love. I hope you're right.
Yep.
And then I have the Cowboys number six
I have the Buccaneers number six,
and the Bears number seven.
and I have the Cowboys number seven.
Right on. Right on.
All right, let's go back to the AFC for playoffs. What's going to happen in the playoffs?
All right, man. You want to go first? Or you want me to?
Did
Round
you
one. Let's
break
do.
down to the games as well? Like in terms of who everybody's playing, right on through to
Yeah,
the
I did
Super Bowl?
every game in round one, round two,
Okay,
all
yeah,
that.
that's cool. So round one for me, I have Buffalo over Cincinnati. I
Mm-hmm.
have Kansas City over the Chargers, even though I have the Chargers winning the division, and I am down on Kansas City, but uh, I can't go against that pedigree, and I can't see them at least not winning one playoff game. I can't see them being one and done after all those years in a row being in the championship game. So Kansas
I love
City
it.
over the Chargers,
Right on.
Denver over Houston.
Denver over. Okay. Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, check this out. So I have the Ravens over the Bengals. I also have the Chiefs over the Chargers, and I also have the Broncos over the Texans.
Oh, that's fantastic.
How about that?
Yeah, so my semifinals is Baltimore and Kansas City, Buffalo and Denver, and I have Baltimore finally slaying the beast and beating Kansas City, and I have Buffalo beating Denver.
Okay. Okay. So I have the same exact thing. I have the Bills beating the Broncos and the Ravens beating the Chiefs.
And then I have Buffalo over Baltimore
Me
in the
too.
championship game for Buffalo to go to the Super Bowl.
That's crazy, man. I have the same thing. That is wild. The only thing we really did different was I gave the Bills the number one seed and you gave the Ravens the number one seed. Everything else was pretty much right on.
Right, I
Well,
wanted to do that because
our seedings were different.
I wanted to do that, put Buffalo over Baltimore because I want the championship game to be in Buffalo. I feel better about them winning if it's in Buffalo rather than
Man, that's
in
wild,
Baltimore.
dude.
All
I love it.
right,
I
well
love it.
let's do the NFC.
All right, man. Cool. All right. So I'll do the round one first this time.
Sure.
Okay. So I have first the Lions versus the Bears. Lions win. Then the Buccaneers versus Cowboys. Buccaneers win. And the 49ers versus the Commanders. Commanders win.
Okay. I have the Rams versus the Cowboys. Rams win. Tampa Bay against the Panthers and the Bucks win.
Mm-hmm.
Again, another situation where I don't have them winning the division, but I have them winning the playoff game.
Right on.
And then the Eagles over the Bears. Or
Okay.
I'm sorry, not the Eagles. Detroit over the Bears.
Oh, right. Yeah, because you had the same seed as I did. That's right. Yes. Okay. Very cool. Well, then round two, I have a rematch of last year with the Eagles and the Commanders, but a round earlier, and and the Eagles will make them look like bitches again. Uh, remember? Do you remember how petulant and ridiculous the Commanders looked when the Eagles were doing the tush push like 14 times in a row in that one point in the game?
Yeah.
I just loved it, and they are in their heads, and they're going to stay there. And the Eagles win that, and then the Lions beat the Buccaneers.
Oh, all right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna give you. All right, hang on. I'm sorry.
Oh, while you're doing that, real quick, I would like to say I meant to say this earlier, talking about the Eagles. The Eagles got their first win of the season in the offseason when they did not ban the tush push.
Right. Yes, they did. That's coming eventually. It'll happen eventually, but not yet.
Yep, yep. Now they were able to shame teams into trying to man up for one more season.
Yep. It'll come up again next year. It probably won't happen again next year, or maybe the year after. I don't know. It'll probably happen eventually. But until then,
I agree.
okay. So I have the Eagles over Tampa Bay,
Mm-hmm.
finally beating the Bucks. Get that monkey off your back,
Yeah, nice.
and the Rams over the Lions.
Right on. Okay.
And I have the Rams over the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl.
Love it. I could see. I mean, listen, if Stafford's healthy, the Rams are a dangerous team, so I can see that. It's we know we talked about Stafford's health enough. We don't have to beat it to death. But if he is, they are a legitimate threat. And I have the Eagles beating the Lions and going back to the bowl.
Against Buffalo.
You got it. Yep, Eagles versus Buffalo.
All right, I have Buffalo against the Rams, and I have Buffalo over the Rams. And finally, the Bills get their first Super Bowl.
Man, wow, wouldn't that be something? Man, wouldn't that be something? Well, I'm going to take them to 0-5 in the Super Bowl and give the Eagles their repeat because
Okay,
why the heck not?
right, exactly. Now Ty put in M. Um, he has Bills Eagles in the Super Bowl as well, with the Bills
Okay,
winning.
okay,
He
fair.
put Josh Allen MVP, but I don't know if he means Super Bowl MVP or regular because I didn't specify, and he didn't specify. So I don't know if he means Josh Allen is going to win the regular season MVP or the Super Bowl MVP. Chances are, if Buffalo does win, he would be the MVP of the game. My
Yeah,
regular season MVP, like a dummy, I did not select it. What was I
I didn't.
thinking?
Even. I forgot about awards. I mean, I can come up with it right now, but it's. I didn't
I'm gonna
think
go.
about it.
I'm gonna go Joe Cool, Joe Burrow.
Oh, that's a good one. And if they make the playoffs, I think there's a real good chance that happens.
Yes, that's my
Um,
pick.
man, that is a toughie, dude.
We can just do MVP. We
Um,
don't have to do the other awards
I'm gonna go Josh Allen
to repeat.
to repeat. Because I really think Lamar deserved it last year based on the regular season. But I think Josh Allen will earn it even more this year. And it was splitting hairs anyway. I mean, I'm not
Right.
saying Josh Allen's a worthy candidate, a worthy winner, but I thought it should have gone to Lamar, and I'll give it to Josh outright this year.
Okay. Yeah. The MVP is weird. They don't really give it to the right person. The year that
No,
Lamar won it, he like last year his numbers were way better than Josh Allen's, and Josh Allen wins it. And the year
yeah,
that Lamar won it, Dak's numbers were way better than Lamar's, like by a mile.
exactly, man. Exactly. And listen, if you're ever going to give it to anybody other than a quarterback, it should have gone to Barkley last year. I mean, he was the
Yeah,
clear, like I mean, if Barkley didn't win the MVP last year, that award is never going to anybody but a quarterback ever again.
agreed. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's
a
a
wild
shame.
one. So it should just be the best quarterback of the year award, and that's what it is, and that's fine because quarterback is the most important position in professional sports. But I still think there should be a little more consideration to other positions when they have spectacular years.
I agree. All right. Well, me and Ty both have the Bills, and you have the Eagles on the repeat, but against the Bills. So we're all there in terms of being on board with the Bills making it.
Yeah, how about that, man? And I can definitely see it. I mean, they've been so close, so close. They have a good coach. They have a great quarterback. They have a solid, if not but not great D. If that D can improve just a tick or two, man, they are really tough to stop. So
Well,
I
remember
could
they
definitely
lost all
see it.
those players. Remember they lost all those players last year, and we were concerned about that. But they've started to restock a little bit, and they restocked again in this offseason, and that's why I put them in there. I'm like they've had 2 seasons now to get that going in the right direction again, and after all those losses, and I think they are.
Yeah, we didn't even mention that earlier that they added Joey Bosa.
Yeah,
I mean, and as much as he's an injury risk anymore, I'd take him over Von Miller, which is basically who they cut to get rid of to add Joey Bosa. And Bosa played 14 games last year after having 2 super injury plagued years. So if they get that Joey Bosa, it's huge.
yeah. So I really like where they're going. I think this is their year to make it. And I hate to say it too, it does seem like Lamar does not play his best in the postseason.
Oh, it's a real thing at this point.
Yeah, and I do have him getting to the championship game though. So I do believe to some degree, but I got Josh Allen winning that game.
I'm a huge Lamar Jackson fan, but I mean, at this point, you gotta say prove it in the playoffs. You really do. It's there's no doubt about it. Now he played way better last year. I mean, he played pretty darn well last year. His quarterback rating was 122.5. You can't play much better than that.
Yeah.
Um, you know, but that's coming off of three terrible playoffs and then a decent playoff. So he went from awful, awful, awful in 18, 19, and 20 to pretty good in 23 to outstanding last year. So if he can keep that going, maybe we're looking at the Ravens in the Super Bowl, man. But yeah, it's still a prove it kind of thing because of the shaky start to his career in the playoffs. So we'll see.
Well, have you heard of the conspiracy of the color of the Super Bowl logo?
No, lay it on me.
Apparently, the last like 5 Super Bowls, the color scheme of the Super Bowl logo matches the color scheme of the teams that play.
Oh, that's fascinating.
And of course, it's announced before the season starts.
And what is it this year?
It is purple and light blue.
Oh, well then you should have picked the Ravens against the Rams.
No, it's Ravens, Lions, light blue.
Or Chargers or Rams, because don't they have a little? Well, no, I guess they are dark blue. My bad. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh
You could
well.
also say the Chargers though.
You could, and but the thing is, if they're the purple, the Chargers are the light blue team. Then who's the purple team in the NFC? The Vikings,
That's no, that's a fair point then. Yes. Well, yeah. Well, I guess you could say that, but neither of us are picking that. That's for sure.
right? And it doesn't matter, I'm sure, but it is kind of strange if you look at the Super Bowl logos and who played in the Super Bowl those years. It's kind of weird.
That's a trip. Well, if it's a Ravens Lions Super Bowl, I'm gonna have to rethink this whole thing.
It's just a
Now,
stupid thing I came across, but for some reason, Super Bowl LV 111. Let me see if what the logo looked like last year. Pretty sure it was green and red.
Now, this is a real deep cut for people that listen to all our podcasts, including the ones we do with Jordan the Unicorn. But if you can somehow tie this into the Kennedy and Lincoln assassinations, I'm gonna. Oh, wouldn't that be great?
Okay, let's see.
Oh man.
Well, the logo for the Super Bowl. Oh wait, are we on Super Bowl 58?
Oh man, I can't. It takes me too long to figure out Roman numerals.
Well, when are we on?
Super Bowl 2026. Super Bowl LX, is that's 60.
That's 60. Super Bowl LIX was Super Bowl 59. I think that was last year.
Yes.
Well, I'm seeing two different logos, so they don't quite match up in terms of color schemes. One color scheme is red and green, and the other one is red and, well, it's kind of like a greenish yellow.
Well, I'll take the red and green if you want to run back the Chiefs Eagles.
Well, no, that's the one from last year.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that predicted that. I got you. Unbelievable, man. Oh, that's wild. I love it. That's fun. That is fun.
Who did the Chiefs play the year before?
Oh, I'm blanking. Let's see. Super Bowl 58. Dun, dun. Oh, they beat the Niners. Was it gold and red or something?
Yes, it was.
Oh, that's crazy. Let's see. I'll find 57 a
Well,
while.
again, though, I'm seeing different. There's a bunch of different ones. I'm seeing the other ones too, but that are not. But I don't know, which one is the official logo or not. But I do see a logo up here that's green and that's yellow and red.
That is freaking priceless, man. That
But
is
whatever,
priceless.
it's nonsense.
Well, I
But
get a
I'm
kick out of
gonna
that though. That's great. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not
All
laying
right.
any bets on it or anything, but I do enjoy that kind of thing
Well, I'll tell
as
you,
a
if it
talking
is
point.
if it is Baltimore and Detroit, then we got something to talk about.
Yeah, and then I'm laying heavy on whatever the color scheme is in 2027 then. Oh, that's good stuff, man. Wow. Man, this is the kind of stuff you don't get anywhere else, Craig.
Of course,
I
only here,
love it.
and I'm gonna have a third podcast today, or
Yeah, and talk
second.
about that. And tell me about your guest. Tell the listeners and me about your guest.
Oh, well, it's his name is Brandon. He is on. He. I worked with him for a number of years. Just recently, he left the company that I was working at. Then I left the company, but we kept in contact because he was in our fantasy league, in my fantasy league, and he stayed in the league even after he left the company, and we stayed in contact. And when our buddy Ty, who was supposed to be on this podcast, could not do it, and my buddy Joe, who is Jordan's father, also can't do it. I was like, shoot, I promised the guest. So I just sent an email out to the league and asked them if anybody wants to be on the podcast and give their thoughts on the season and predictions. And he said yes. So he'll be on tonight. I'll be recording with him
Beautiful.
tonight.
Well, give it
And
up to him for stepping up. I love it. Hopefully, this is like a one of the like great like backup quarterback steps in and wins the Super Bowl kind of thing. I love it that he stepped up, and I'm looking forward to hearing his thoughts.
yep. And Joe also is considering uh, doing some weekly picks with us.
Great. Well, yeah, yeah.
Wins and losses.
The dad of the unicorn is welcome anytime in my book, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, no doubt. He knows his stuff too. I don't know again if it'll be a situation where he's on every week. Probably not. But we'll see if he can get on a few times, and if not, just send in his picks like he did with this. Um, so yeah, we got Ty's picks as the extra pick with us, and I'll have Joe's picks when I'm on with Brandon later. And I like the fact that we're getting more content from more people, more input, and more opinions.
I love it, man. Yeah, absolutely. Because you and I can talk all day long. I mean, we can do a 7 hour podcast if we felt like anybody would listen to it every week. But but I love getting other people that in there and and listen. Jordan vouched for his dad's knowledge, and if his knowledge of football is anything like Jordan's of baseball, I love it. And I think I'm going to start calling him the Datacorn.
The Datacorn. That's fantastic. I'll let him know that.
I love it. I look forward to any of these guys join us anytime. I love it.
All right. But regardless, we will be on with our normal twice a week podcasts every week, all season long. The next one, are we good till the start of the season now? Or do we, yeah, I think we're like the
I
week
think
before
so,
the
right?
season starts, like the Tuesday or Wednesday before the season starts, that Thursday,
Yeah, we
we'll,
do our predictions for week one. That would be the
we'll do
next one, right?
our week one predictions, but that's only a couple weeks away.
Yeah, man, we are almost there. I mean, this is we're heading to week two of the preseason already, and there's only 3 weeks anymore. So, yeah, man, I can't wait. It's great to be back officially with the predictions, and I can't wait to dive into our 2 a weeks and get the football season rolling, my man.
Absolutely. And hopefully tonight's podcast is not another two-parter. I don't want to have four parts today.
Yeah,
The the
right.
two-parter today was a little bit unavoidable this afternoon, but tonight should be just one, and off we go.
I love it, man. I'm excited. I'll be checking out the one with your guys tonight, and I can't wait to get back fully into the swing of the football season. Thanks for having me as always.
Okay, man. Anything else to add?
No, other than just to say, anybody out there that's listening that likes our football stuff, think about going back and if you're into guitar players, think about going back and checking out our top 10 guitar players of all time, two-parter. I thought it was really good, and I'd love to get a few more listens on that and get some opinions in the comments. I really enjoyed doing that, and I'd love to get a few more eyeballs on it.
Yeah, I did too. And remember, it kind of got damaged because again, it was two parts because of technical issues. And but in real time, Ozzy Osbourne passed away while we were recording.
Yeah, man, crazy. Like it was your son that came in and told you, right?
Yeah, I was just recording like I am now. He just walked in. It was like Ozzy Osbourne just died. And I was like, "What?" And we have
Yeah.
our genuine, right then and there reactions as it
Yeah,
happened.
if you like, yeah, yeah, that's a great way of putting it. And if you, because a lot of the people that listen to these, I'm sure, come from your reaction channel, best in the business, as I always say, and that's like the craziest reaction you'll ever get because we heard an absolute legend, and I'm a massive Ozzy fan and Black Sabbath fan, and have been my whole life. We reacted to that right there during the podcast. It was absolutely crazy, and like as the internet was exploding, so were our brains.
Yep, and that was during part one of that podcast, the top 10 guitarists. So
Yeah.
anyway, guys, like Al said, check that out. Because of that, I've been reacting to a lot of Ozzy songs. Actually, Ozzy songs I've never heard. A lot of his solo career later on that I did not know about, and I'm checking out a few of his songs. I've done like three since his passing. So,
I know you put out Diary of a Madman, and I watched that one already and enjoyed the heck out of it.
yep. Okay, so make sure you guys check all that out. Make sure you check out the one that I'm doing tonight. All the prediction podcasts will be up at the same time, and we're off and running. And until next time, I will see you later.